What's going on, you guys? I'm Jesse here. In today's video, I'm going to tell you how I 3D printed this really cool Venom statue on the Peopoly Moai SLA Resin 3D printer. That's right, resin, baby, liquid gold. Well, maybe not gold, but you get the idea.
So let's take a look at the process here. This was actually the base of the Venom statue that I printed on the CR10 just to save on resin, since that is fairly expensive, and this was a really big base piece. So removing the supports there. For the actual resin printed pieces, I lightly sanded anywhere that the support material was attached. This helped really smooth out the parts. This was a 400 grit sandpaper. You don't have to be too rough with this. It seems to sand really smooth. And then I was just removing some of the excess nibs or support pieces that were still attached there as I was really examining the top portion of the Venom statue. That the top piece and the bottom piece have a really cool connection that fit perfectly together. Time to paint this bad boy. So I took some primer and started applying that to make sure not to use primer filler. I wanted to really maintain the high details as best I could. Since this was already really smooth, I could just simply apply a coat of the primer to this and it was good to go. Should mention that I applied that to all of the parts as well. Eyes white. This is really cheap white spray paint that I had. This is sort of an off red. It's not really a bright red. It's more of a maroon, Rust-Oleum red. So using that for the tongue. And then now painting everything flat black. I didn't want this to be glossy. I wanted to really be a sort of a dark matte color, comic book-ish style. Then for some of the interior of the mouth, I used the same spray paint on a plate to paint the interior of the mouth so that the tongue and mouth could match. It wasn't as bright since I'm painting it in and I only did a layer or two, but it's still a little bit of deviation there that you can see. For the teeth, I really wanted an off-white, grimy look, so I took some white, yellow, and green, mixed that together, and applied it in. I think this turned out really great. The teeth, I think, look pretty good on this. Then for the gums, I just added a little bit of black to that to darken it up and started applying that in. And I think, again, it blended in excellent. I also did some highlights on the teeth after I was done here with some bright white, just in some high spots. Really just accentuating the teeth here. Now, once everything was finished painting, it's time to assemble it. So I was just using some super glue, glued in the tongue, and then glued in the eyes. Make sure you have the correct eyes that you're gluing in to the correct slot. I had to double check this before applying it in. Fit perfectly. So this was an attempt to create some saliva. I found a tip online that said to take some clear fishing line, apply some super glue to it, and let it thicken up. This just was not working for me. Yeah, this was just a bad experiment, but what I did end up doing was taking some XTC 3D and applying that to this, and again, it didn't work perfect right out the bat, but what I decided to do was wait and leave the cup that I'd mixed it in and let it sit for about 10 minutes to really thicken up, and then I could start directly applying that to the Venom bust. So I just used some of the tools that I had and started applying that to the tongue and mouth area sporadically. One fatal mistake that I made with this, I think the XTC 3D worked great. It goes on clear and dries clear, but I decided to apply some super glue. I decided to apply some super glue afterwards, and yeah, it ended up being a little bit smoky, which wasn't wasn't ideal. But in the end, I think it came out great.
So first of all, let me thank Sebastian over at Sebastian Sculpt. I'll have links down below to where you can pick up this file, as well as his social media accounts, who designed and shared this really cool Venom file with me. Again, printed this on the Peopoly Moai. This is, unlike other 3D printers that I've showcased and used for other builds on my channel, this uses liquid and some sort of a light to solidify the actual print. And it's a... Iron Man's telling me to get moving. It's a really cool process, and what this does is it provides you with some really, really highly detailed prints, unlike what you can get on a regular FDM 3D printer that you're printing with the hard plastic spools. Again, this is using liquid here, and what happens is there's a print bed that's inside this machine that will dip down into the liquid, and then lasers will shine on that, onto that print surface and start adhering to that print surface, and then it starts raising upwards. So it's almost like the opposite effect of your typical printer that you're maybe have seen videos of on my channel here, where it's going to be printing upside down essentially, and it's just a wild process. It's completely different. I'm going to be doing a straight up video explaining this in detail and what I really think about this machine, which, spoilers, it's pretty dang good. Also, just to say, huge thank you to the folks over at Matter Hackers who sent this to me to check out and do a build of. So again, I'll have a separate video going through the whole build video process and really more or less a review of this unit. And it's producing some really cool results. I mean, if you're doing lots of little characters or statues or jewelry or really small, highly detailed files, these resin printers are just absolutely awesome to work with. By the way, I just realized that I did not move my microphone for that entire little bit there that I just spoke to you guys on, and I'm not going to reshoot it, so enjoy enjoy the camera microphone in clear view of my video. So this is just, I mean, the detail, I'll have to get some close-ups on this, but the detail on the upper portion of the print is just ridiculously nice. The base of the Venom statue is removable. I did not glue this down. This was printed over on my CR10. Again, the detail on this I think came out great for a standard 3D printer. It's really clean. I probably could have done a better job of smoothing it out a little bit more, but the resin print, the details just really shine through. The little divots and grooves in the symbiote skin is just absolutely ridiculous on this thing. Also, the detail on, I mean, just like in the eye area, it just came out really, really great. One thing that I played around with as well that I was debating on doing or not doing here is obviously painting this. I just used some basic rattle cans that you saw in the time lapse, and then hand painted a few of the areas like the inside of the mouth, the actual pupils of the eyes. I give them like a little bit of a glowing yellow. The teeth, I did just a few different shades of white and yellow and green. And then I played around with some XTC 3D. I really wanted a dripping, drooling effect coming from his mouth, and there's not a whole lot of info on this online. So stay tuned. I will be definitely playing around with different options of how you might be able to do this if you're creating statues or models. So I'm going to play around with this a good bit more, but I was trying super glue. It just wasn't thickening up fast enough, so I mixed up a little bit of XTC3, waited for it to solidify a good bit, and then just started dripping it in. I did make a fundamental mistake. Right before I went to bed, I thought it would be a great idea to build it up a little bit with some super glue. And so I applied super glue to it, and XTC 3D dries clear. My super glue, on the other hand, does not dry clear, and so now in some areas it's a little bit of a smoky, The Iron Man helmet is driving me crazy. It's a little bit smoky, so I might end up reprinting the tongue and just redoing this. The good thing is I can pretty much just rip the tongue out and re-glue it back in. So again, I just wanted to share this with you guys. The new Venom trailer dropped. I'm just still not 100% sure what to think about it. I mean, Venom looks pretty cool. Tom Hardy's acting, on the other hand, just the voice sounded super weird to me. It seemed a little bit cheesy from the trailer, but I've still got my fingers crossed that it's going to be good. I'm heading to Avengers tonight. I will be posting a video on that probably tomorrow, probably doing a little spoiler-free review of that. And again, just wanted to say thanks again to Sebastian. I'll have links down to his social media accounts as well as where you can pick up this file. Dude is doing some really cool modeling. You should really check it out. And again, the Peopoly Moai, if you're interested in grabbing one of these, I've got links down below to Matter Hacker's website where you can pick one up. Anything that you purchase through that link helps out the channel here, so appreciate that. And again, I'll be doing a follow-up video, probably with some more projects that I printed with this machine. I have done a good number of prints with this machine so far. And yeah, doing a full write-up, not write-up, I don't do write-ups here, I talk to the camera. A sort of a video review here is what they call it. But I just want to say thanks again for watching, you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'm rambling on now. I will see you guys next time. Bye now.